Worldwide West here. How you living? I've gotten some questions about how did you retire early? How are you staying healthy as you retired and as you've aged? So I just want to take a few moments, again, 10 minutes of your time, but we're going to have to break it up into multiple clips because I can't get you from my formative years to where I'm at now in 10 minutes. So you'll see a series of videos. Well, growing up, you don't always know what's going to shape you and make you into the man that you are today. You don't know much about the moments in your life that's building backbone, strength, and character. The people that are making you better today than you were days before. But when I look back at my childhood growing up in Indianapolis, I see how clearly now those people, those moments, those events in my life has helped me to get to this point, healthy, strong, and able to be able to retire early and move on with my life and enjoy it to the fullest. Today, I want to take you back with me. I want you to join me as I go back and share my story of how Worldwide West. All right, I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, inner city kid. Our family was poor, a mother and a father there. They both worked, struggled, but I don't think they made more than $25,000 a year. I don't think they were that. My mother was a nurse's aide. My father was a laborer. He worked in a lot of different places, mechanic, did different jobs. But none of us were known. They were not rich. They were not educated. My parents didn't get a chance to go to college. They didn't even get a chance to finish high school. They had to start work early from when they were young. My mother and father worked hard, harder than I understood at the time. Didn't understand. My mother worked a third shift. My father worked during the day. My mother would go to work at night around 11 p.m. My father had to drive her because she didn't have a driver's license. He had to take her to work. Come back home. He jumps in bed. He would be back up at 5 o'clock the next morning just to prepare breakfast for us before he had to be to work at 7. My mother would get home around 7:30, so there was a 30-minute gap. But he would get us up at 6:30 before he walked out the door, and he would have breakfast ready for us when we came down at 7:15 before we left for school, me and my brothers. My mother had that quiet strength, discipline. She didn't complain about going to work, staying up all night, changed her sleep pattern and schedule. But they worked together. They ensured that my brothers and I, we had what we needed. We had clean clothes. And I'll never forget, my mother's one saying is, just because you're poor does not mean you have to be nasty. So we bathed. She washed our clothes. She took care of us. She made food. Sure, we had food on the table. So learning and seeing that as a child, how hard your parents worked just to provide a meal, provide a roof over your head. Those were all things that helped me as I was growing up in the inner city. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. I see some of my friends now that are older, that still lives there and doing great things. And I listen to them and we talk about how we share stories with friends that we've lost. As a child, and see your best friend killed at an early age, ran over by a drunk driver riding his bike in the middle of the street. You see another friend where gun violence takes over. So before I was even 13, 14 years old, I had already started going to funerals. I'd seen funerals at my local church and friends that had been killed, by a drunk driver or through violence. One friend, shot to death by mistake. Guy was trying to actually go after his brother, but he mistakenly was killed. So before I was even a 15, 13, 14, 15, I had been to a number of funerals and seen death for some of my friends. So all those things shaped me, my emotions, my feelings, who I am. All of those things had an effect on who I am today. Now, growing up in the inner city, it can be a battlefield or it can be a blessing. It's up to you how you respond to your situation and your circumstances. And I took those moments of seeing friends die early as a moment for me to really invest in myself and people around me. I had some great teachers. I'll never forget Mary Benson, a woman who taught me English. She was dedicated to not only teaching me English, but how to just be a person with more confidence, how to speak, how to grow. I look at people like Miss Hill, who was my guidance counselor in high school, and she would check on me and making sure that I took the right classes. As a freshman in high school, I had no thought about going to college. In fact, my parents had already told me they had no money to send me to college. And if I wanted to go to college, I would have to work, and maybe I could stay at home and go to the local college. I'll talk more about that here shortly. But Miss Hill, she saw something in me. By the time I got to my junior year, the second semester, she was already laying out opportunities for me to go to college. In Indiana, they had a program called Upper Bound, where you go off and you try and you test and see if you were able to go to college. Don't know if that program still exists or not, but places like that, the programs like that, really did help me and help those that were interested in going to college. And then, even people like men teachers like Mr. West, who, no relation, but he was a biology teacher and he taught me to, hey, you got something. He was just instilling confidence, not so much trying to teach me biology, but he was teaching me show up on time, make sure that you present yourself properly, make sure you understand what you're looking for in life. Not everybody is going to like you. Some people are going to be jealous of you, but these are things that you have to understand, that you have to rise above that. So yeah, I thank Mr. West for that. And finally, I have to thank my football coaches. I played football in Indianapolis. I started out as a freshman in high school, just being the equipment manager. Didn't think I had what it took to play football, but I enjoyed the sport. But by the time I got to my sophomore year, someone had told me, no, you can play. Well, I ended up being, by my senior year, I was all city honorable mention playing football. Coach Springer, who was our head football coach at the time, and he always have these sayings he would put on the board every day before practice and before the games. And one of them was, leave nothing to chance. Put the work in. Do the work hard. Don't expect someone else to do what you can do. And I've taken that to life, and I still use it today. I don't expect people to feel sorry for me. I don't expect people to take care of me. I get out, and I had to work. And all of that helped me. Didn't know it at the time, but all of that did help me become the person that I am today.